Hello there, YouTube. Today is Thursday, what is it, June 18th or 19th? I forgot to look. I'm on the computer all day, but I don't really pay attention to the date. I think it is the 18th or 19th. Anyway, I took the Spyder to the dealership yesterday. They emailed me last week and said they should have every single part in. Oh wait, what is today? When did I take it in? 24? I forgot. Sad, right? So don't pay attention to the date. But I took the Spyder in yesterday. They have all the parts. They had to replace the whole side panels that they broke when they installed I was the very first Spyder that they built for 2020, so they broke the tabs. This first day, I noticed it when the first time I brought it home. I was going to put my backrest on, and I saw all those tabs just completely broken. So the entire side, all the way up to where that blocks the motor, has to all be replaced. So they've got those all in. The fitment that goes around the controls for the passenger in the back, the heated grips and the radio controls, that was all didn't fit, because there's the one screw fit, but the other screw didn't fit. If you saw some of the videos, they had a tie wrap in there holding it together, but I never had a tie wrap. So that's going to be replaced. There's a big gap that I didn't pay attention to until I saw the bulletin on the recall. There's a big gap on the bottom of the saddlebags, so that's going to be repaired. And the brake recall. Apparently, if you slam on the brakes really, really hard on the 2020, you'll snap a rod or whatever, then you'll have no brakes. I've had to slam on the brakes a couple times right up here because cars pull out in front of you. So mine never broke, but they're going to do all of that. So I told them a while ago, I just want to wait till everything comes in so I can get it done all at one time. Oh, and I told them about the throttle too. The Goldwings have cables, and the Spyder doesn't. And you're supposed to snap the throttle and it goes right back to idle, but mine didn't. It kind of stuck. And if you take off that on this side, let me put the cruise on. If you take this off on the Spyder, there's a spring in there and a spacer. So if you take it off, you snap it and you let it go, it goes right back to idle. But apparently that spring or whatever it is in there is kind of sticking. So sometimes when I get off the Spyder, if I have to use my hand to get off, it just revs up and it doesn't stop. I have to really push the throttle back. So they're going to look at that too. And that one left mirror loosened up, but I fixed that. And they said that BRP has a kit to fix that, so hopefully they'll go ahead and do that. I don't know if they will or not, because I told them I fixed that one I tapped that hole out and put a screw in there and pushed it up against it, and that held it steady. I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but it'd be kind of nice if they did. I'm about 200 miles away from an oil change, so hopefully they won't call me and tell me they're going to change the oil, because I'm not paying for that, because I have all my own filters and oil and O-rings. I didn't change the O-rings the first 3,000 because they weren't bad. I'm gonna take the old O-rings to Ace Hardware. They got bins and bins of O-rings, so I'm gonna match them all up. And if I can match every one of them up, I'll get a whole bunch of them, and that way I'll have enough, like 5 or 6 sets that where I have enough. And I'll write down the part numbers too, because that way I can just go back in there and grab them again, instead of spending like $8 on the ones you can buy online, the people that sell those. Well, if it's, I don't know, hopefully it'll be cheaper than $8. I'm sure it will be. But that's what I got going on. I don't know when I'll get the Spyder back, so I'm okay. I have this, so I can go out and ride. It's pretty warm out, but it's not horrible yet. 89 so far. I just got it out though. One thing I talked about was on the Spyder, you feel no heat from the motor, none whatsoever. And I really thought the Goldwing, well, I know it's much cooler than an air-cooled twin, but I rode this Goldwing for 85,000 miles, and I never really paid much attention because that's all I knew was the heat that comes from these radiators. And if I put your leg out there, your shins get really, really, really hot. And I never really noticed how much heat comes up to me from those radiators. You know, because the radiator's on the side, and the air comes up from the front, and the air blows out the outside the radiator. So these things are really hot. And I wonder why that when we travel, how you get in this really warm temps and it's just extremely hot. But I don't feel anything on the Spyder. And I never really noticed it until I got the Spyder, just how hot this engine is. You know, because you see the engine off to the side and you get the heat from the motor. I mean, I still love my Goldwing, but it's you got some heat coming out of those radiators that you never have on the Spyder. So just an observation. I mean, bah.